Chapter 2. Lost Spring by Anees Jung. Summary. Lost Spring, Stories of Stolen Childhood by Anees Jung is a profound narrative that examines the plight of impoverished children in India, whose childhoods are consumed by the harsh realities of poverty and child labor. The chapter is divided into two parts, each focusing on a different story but highlighting similar themes of exploitation, poverty, and the loss of innocence. अनीस जंग द्वारा लॉस्ट स्प्रिंग स्टोरीज ऑफ स्टोलन चाइल्डहुड एक गहन कथा है जो भारत में गरीब बच्चों की दुर्दशा की जांच करती है, जिनका बचपन गरीबी और बाल श्रम की कठोर वास्तविकताओं से भस्म हो जाता है। अध्याय को 2 भागों में विभाजित किया गया है, प्रत्येक एक अलग कहानी पर ध्यान केंद्रित करता है, लेकिन शोषण, गरीबी और मासूमियत के नुकसान के समान विषयों को उजागर करता है। Part 1, Sahebi Alam, the Ragpicker Boy. The first part of the chapter introduces us to Sahebi Alam, a young boy who scars garbage dumps in Simpuri, a slum on the outskirts of Delhi, for anything valuable. Sahib's name, meaning Lord of the Universe, is highly ironic, considering his life of deprivation and poverty. Sahib's family, originally from Dhaka, Bangladesh, migrated to India in search of a better life, escaping the poverty and political unrest of their homeland. However, their dreams of prosperity were shattered, and they ended up living in abject poverty. अध्याय का पहला भाग हमें साहेब आलम से मिलवाता है, जो एक युवा लड़का है जो दिल्ली के बाहरी इलाके में एक झुग्गी सीमापुरी में कचरे के ढेर को किसी भी मूल्यवान चीज के लिए खंगालता है। साहेब का नाम, जिसका अर्थ है ब्रह्मांड का भगवान, उनके अभाव और गरीबी के जीवन को देखते हुए अत्यधिक विडंबनापूर्ण है। साहेब का परिवार मूल रूप से ढाका, बांग्लादेश का रहने वाला था, जो अपनी मातृभूमि की गरीबी और राजनीतिक अशांति से बचकर बेहतर जीवन की तलाश में भारत आ गया था। हालांकि समृद्धि के उनके सपने चकनाचूर हो गए और वे गरीबी में रह रहे थे। सीनपुरी, where Sahib and his family live, is a place where survival is a daily struggle. The settlement lacks basic amenities, and the people live in mud structures with roofs of tin and tarpaulin. Despite these conditions, Sahib, like many other children in the area, finds a certain thrill in ragpicking. To him, garbage is like gold. It holds the promise of discovering something valuable, even if it's just a coin or a pair of shoes. Sahib's eyes light up at the thought of finding a treasure in the garbage heaps, showing the innocence and optimism that still linger in him. सीमापुरी, जहां साहेब और उनका परिवार रहता है, एक ऐसी जगह है जहां जीवित रहना एक दैनिक संघर्ष है। बस्ती में बुनियादी सुविधाओं का अभाव है और लोग टिन और तिरपाल की छतों के साथ मिट्टी की संरचनाओं में रहते हैं। इन परिस्थितियों के बावजूद इलाके के कई अन्य बच्चों की तरह साहब को भी कूड़ा बीनने में एक खास रोमांच नजर आता है। उसके लिए कचरा सोने की तरह है, यह कुछ मूल्यवान खोजने का वादा करता है, भले ही वह सिर्फ एक सिक्का या जूते की एक जोड़ी हो। कचरे के ढेर में खजाना खोजने के विचार से साहेब की आंखें चमक उठती हैं, जो मासूमियत और आशावाद को दिखाती हैं, जो अभी भी उनमें बनी हुई है। साहेब ड्रीम्स ऑफ गोइंग टू स्कूल, बट द हार्श रियलिटी इज दैट हिज फैमिली कैन नॉट अफोर्ड इट। When asked about his desire to go to school, Sahib responds with a wistful "I am ready to go, if they build one." This statement highlights the lack of educational facilities and opportunities for children like him. Later, Sahib finds a job at a tea stall, which offers him a regular income and means. However, the job strips him of his freedom, and the author observes a significant change in Sahib's demeanor. The carefree, happy-go-lucky ragpicker is now a boy with a lost spirit. Sahib's dream of education and a better life remains unfulfilled, symbolizing the crushing impact of poverty on the aspirations of children. साहेब स्कूल जाने का सपना देखते हैं, लेकिन कड़वी सच्चाई यह है कि उनका परिवार इसका खर्च वहन नहीं कर सकता। जब उनसे स्कूल जाने की उनकी इच्छा के बारे में पूछा गया, तो साहेब ने व्यंग्यपूर्ण जवाब दिया, मैं जाने के लिए तैयार हूं, अगर वे स्कूल बना लें। यह कथन उनके जैसे बच्चों के लिए शैक्षिक सुविधाओं और अवसरों की कमी पर प्रकाश डालता है। बाद में साहेब को एक चाय की दुकान पर नौकरी मिल जाती है, जिससे उन्हें नियमित आय और भोजन मिलता है। हालांकि नौकरी उसकी स्वतंत्रता को छीन लेती है और लेखक साहेब के व्यवहार में एक महत्वपूर्ण बदलाव देखता है। लापरवाह, खुशहाल, भाग्यशाली रैग पिकर अब एक खोई हुई आत्मा वाला लड़का है। बच्चों की आकांक्षाओं पर गरीबी के कुचले प्रभाव के प्रतीक के रूप में शिक्षा और बेहतर जीवन का सपना अधूरा रह गया है। पार्ट 2, मुकेश, द चाइल्ड लेबोरर इन फिरोजाबाद। The second part of the chapter shifts focus to Firozabad, a town renowned for its glass-blowing industry, particularly the making of bangles. Here, we meet Mukesh, a young boy who belongs to a family of bangle makers. The story of Mukesh and his family represents the thousands of families in Firozabad who are trapped in the traditional occupation of bangle making, a trade passed down through generations. अध्याय का दूसरा भाग फिरोजाबाद पर ध्यान केंद्रित करता है, जो एक शहर है जो अपने कांच उड़ाने वाले उद्योग, विशेष रूप से चूड़ियां बनाने के लिए प्रसिद्ध है। यहाँ हम मुकेश से मिलते हैं, एक युवा लड़का जो चूड़ी निर्माताओं के परिवार से है। मुकेश और उनके परिवार की कहानी फिरोजाबाद के उन हजारों परिवारों का प्रतिनिधित्व करती है जो पीढ़ियों से चले आ रहे चूड़ी बनाने के पारंपरिक व्यवसाय में फंस गए हैं। The bangle makers of Firozabad work in dark, dingy rooms, often without adequate ventilation. The working conditions are hazardous, with furnaces blazing and children handling hot glass with bare hands. The dust and fumes make it difficult to breathe, and many workers suffer from eye problems and respiratory diseases. Despite these conditions, the families continue to work in the bangle industry because it is their only means of livelihood. They are caught in a vicious cycle of poverty and exploitation, unable to break free. फिरोजाबाद के चूड़ी निर्माता अंधेरे, गंदे कमरों में काम करते हैं, अक्सर पर्याप्त वेंटिलेशन के बिना। काम करने की स्थिति खतरनाक है, भट्टियां धधक रही हैं और बच्चे नंगे हाथों से गर्म कांच को संभालते हैं। धूल और धुएं से सांस लेना मुश्किल हो जाता है और कई श्रमिक आंखों की समस्याओं और श्वसन रोगों से पीड़ित होते हैं। इन स्थितियों के बावजूद परिवार चूड़ी उद्योग में काम करना जारी रखते हैं, क्योंकि यह उनकी आजीविका का एकमात्र साधन है। वे गरीबी और शोषण के दुष्चक्र में फंस गए हैं, मुक्त होने में असमर्थ हैं। Mukesh's family lives in a small, cluttered house. His father has spent his life in the bangle-making business, which has left him blind due to the strain and the hazardous environment. Despite the bleak conditions, Mukesh is determined to break the cycle of poverty and dreams of becoming a motor mechanic. He is willing to take risks and challenges the traditional path laid out for him. His dream is to learn to drive a car and work in a garage, a desire that sets him apart from other children in his community. मुकेश का परिवार एक छोटे, अव्यवस्थित घर में रहता है। उनके पिता ने अपना जीवन चूड़ी बनाने के व्यवसाय में बिताया है, जिसने उन्हें तनाव और खतरनाक वातावरण के कारण अंधा बना दिया है। धूमिल परिस्थितियों के बावजूद मुकेश गरीबी के चक्र को तोड़ने और मोटर मैकेनिक बनने के सपने देखने के लिए दृढ़ संकल्पित है। वह जोखिम लेने के लिए तैयार है और उसके लिए निर्धारित पारंपरिक मार्ग को चुनौती देता है। उनका सपना कार चलाना और गैरेज में काम करना सीखना है, एक इच्छा जो उन्हें अपने समुदाय के अन्य बच्चों से अलग करती है। The author's interaction with Mukesh reveals the complex social dynamics at play. The bangle makers are exploited by middlemen who make substantial profits while paying the workers meager wages. Additionally, the local authorities and police turn a blind eye to the illegal employment of children, further perpetuating the cycle of exploitation. The families are aware of their situation, but feel powerless to change it, fearing retribution and a lack of alternative livelihoods. मुकेश के साथ लेखक की बातचीत से खेल में जटिल सामाजिक गतिशीलता का पता चलता है। चूड़ी बनाने वालों का शोषण बिचौलियों द्वारा किया जाता है, जो श्रमिकों को अल्प मजदूरी का भुगतान करते हुए पर्याप्त लाभ कमाते हैं। इसके अतिरिक्त स्थानीय अधिकारी और पुलिस बच्चों के अवैध रोजगार के प्रति आंखें मूंद लेते हैं, जिससे शोषण का चक्र और बढ़ जाता है। परिवार अपनी स्थिति से अवगत हैं, लेकिन प्रतिशोध और वैकल्पिक आजीविका की कमी के डर से इसे बदलने के लिए शक्तिहीन महसूस करते हैं। Mukesh's ambition and determination provide a glimmer of hope in an otherwise bleak narrative. He symbolized the resilience and aspirations of children who, despite being weighed down by socio-economic challenges, dare to dream of a better future. However, his journey is fraught with challenges, as the rigid social structure and economic conditions threaten to stifle his dreams. मुकेश की महत्वाकांक्षा और दृढ़ संकल्प एक अन्यथा अंधकारमय कथा में आशा की एक किरण प्रदान करते हैं। वह उन बच्चों के लचीलेपन और आकांक्षाओं का प्रतीक हैं, जो सामाजिक आर्थिक चुनौतियों से दबे होने के बावजूद बेहतर भविष्य का सपना देखने की हिम्मत करते हैं। हालांकि उनकी यात्रा चुनौतियों से भरी है, क्योंकि कठोर सामाजिक संरचना और आर्थिक स्थितियां उनके सपनों को दबाने की धमकी देती हैं। कैरेक्टर स्केचेस। चिल्ड्रन 1. साहेबी आलम. Sahebi Alam, a young ragpicker from Simpuri, is a central figure in the first part of Lost Spring. His name, meaning Lord of the Universe, is in stark contrast to his life of poverty and hardship, highlighting the irony of his existence. Sahib's family migrated from Dhaka, Bangladesh, in search of a better life but ended up in the slums of Simpuri, where survival is a daily challenge. Despite the harsh conditions, Sahib retains a sense of innocence and optimism. He views garbage as a treasure trove, hoping to find something valuable that could change his life. His eyes light up with excitement at the thought of discovering a coin or a toy, reflecting the unspoiled joy of childhood. Sahib's dreams are simple yet poignant. He wishes to go to school and play like other children. However, his dreams are constrained by the harsh realities of poverty. When asked about going to school, Sahib replies that he would go if one were built in the area. This response underscores the lack of educational facilities for children like him and the societal neglect of their basic rights. Despite his circumstances, Sahib's spirit is not entirely crushed. He takes pride in his work as a ragpicker, finding freedom in the streets, which contrasts with the confined life he would lead working at a tea stall. As the narrative progresses, Sahib's life takes a turn when he starts working at a tea stall. Although this job offers him a regular income and meals, it strips him of his independence and joy. The carefree ragpicker is now a boy burdened by responsibilities, symbolizing the loss of his childhood. The author observes that Sahib's face has lost its brightness, replaced by a sense of resignation. His tennis shoes, found in the garbage, are symbolic of his lost dreams and aspirations. Sahib's character is a poignant reminder of the countless children in India whose potential is wasted due to socio-economic constraints. He represents the lost dreams and stolen childhoods of the underprivileged, highlighting the need for social change and justice. 2. Mukesh. Mukesh, The protagonist of the second part of Lost Spring is a young boy from Firozabad, a town famous for its bangle-making industry. Unlike Sahib, Mukesh is more determined and ambitious. He belongs to a family of bangle makers, a trade that has been passed down through generations. Mukesh's father, like many others in the community, has spent his life making bangles, working in unhealthy and dangerous conditions that have left him blind. Despite this, Mukesh dreams of breaking free from the traditional occupation and becoming a motor mechanic. His desire to drive a car and work in a garage sets him apart from other children in his community, who accept their fate without question. Mukesh's character is marked by his resolve and willingness to challenge societal norms. He is aware of the risks involved in pursuing a different path but is determined to follow his passion. His decision to learn to drive and become a mechanic reflects his desire for a better life, free from the confines of bangle making. Mukesh's dream is not just about escaping poverty, it is about reclaiming his identity and asserting his independence. He is willing to take the difficult route, symbolizing hope and resilience. Mukesh's family lives in a small, cramped house, indicative of their economic status. The women in the family work tirelessly to support the household, their hands stained with the colors of glass bangles. The hazardous working conditions and the lack of awareness about their rights have kept the family in a cycle of poverty and exploitation. Mukesh's determination to break this cycle reflects his inner strength and courage. He is not content with merely surviving, he wants to thrive and create a better future for himself. Mukesh's character represents the aspirations of many young children in India who, despite being trapped in poverty, dare to dream of a brighter future. 3. The people of Simpuri. The residents of Simpuri are a collective character in the narrative, representing the plight of migrant communities living on the fringes of urban areas. They are primarily immigrants from Bangladesh, driven to India by poverty and political unrest. Simpuri is a slum characterized by its lack of basic amenities, with people living in makeshift huts made of mud, tin, and tarpaulin. The residents earn a living by ragpicking, collecting garbage to find items that can be sold or reused. For these people, garbage is a source of survival, providing them with food and shelter. The people of Simpuri are resilient but resigned to their fate. They have adapted to their harsh living conditions and continue to hope for a better life, even if it is a distant dream. Their lives are a daily struggle for survival, and their children are caught in the same cycle of poverty. Despite their hardships, the people of Simpuri have a sense of community, supporting each other in their quest for survival. Their collective story highlights the issues of migration, poverty, and the lack of government support for marginalized communities. 4. The Bangle Makers of Firozabad. The bangle makers of Firozabad represent a community trapped in the vicious cycle of poverty and traditional occupations. For generations, these families have been involved in the glass-blowing industry, making bangles in hazardous conditions. The workers, including children, toil in dimly lit rooms with furnaces blazing, risking their health and well-being. The bangle makers are exploited by middlemen who control the trade, making substantial profits while paying the workers meager wages. Despite being aware of their exploitation, the bangle makers feel powerless to change their situation, fearing retaliation and a lack of alternative livelihoods. The bangle makers are resigned to their fate, accepting it as their destiny. They lack awareness of their rights and are bound by social and economic constraints. The children in these families are forced into labor at a young age, sacrificing their education and childhood. The bangle maker's story is a stark reminder of the exploitation and injustice faced by the working class in India. It highlights the need for social reforms, education, and empowerment to break the cycle of poverty and exploitation. 30 most important questions and answers. Last 10 years, CBSE Board. Long answer questions. Question: how does the author bring out the irony in Sahib's name and his life situation? Answer: the author uses irony effectively by juxtaposing Sahib's name, Sahib-e-Alam, which means Lord of the Universe, with his life of poverty and hardship. Sahib is a rat picker, scarring through garbage to survive, which contrasts starkly with the grandeur implied by his name. The irony lies in the disparity between the name that suggests power and authority and the reality of Sahib's powerless existence. His name symbolizes the lost dreams and aspirations of countless children who are denied a decent life and education due to socio-economic conditions. Question: discuss the living conditions of the people in Sinpuri as described in the chapter. Answer: Sinpuri is a slum area on the outskirts of Delhi, inhabited by migrants from Bangladesh who fled poverty and political unrest. The living conditions in Sinpuri are abysmal. The residents live in mud houses with roofs of tin and tarpaulin. The area lacks basic amenities such as clean water, electricity, and sanitation. The people survive by rat picking, sifting through garbage for anything that can be sold or used. Despite the lack of material comfort, Sinpuri offers them a sense of belonging and survival, far removed from the hunger and starvation they faced in their homeland. Question: how does Mukesh's attitude towards his situation differ from that of the other children in Firozabad? Answer: unlike the other children in Firozabad, who accept their fate and continue in the traditional occupation of bangle making, Mukesh is determined to break free from this cycle. He dreams of becoming a motor mechanic and is willing to take the necessary steps to achieve his goal. Mukesh's ambition and resolve set him apart, reflecting his desire for a better life. He is not resigned to his circumstances, but instead actively seeks to change them. His attitude symbolizes hope and the possibility of change, even in the face of adversity. Question: what is the significance of the title Lost Spring? Answer: the title Lost Spring is metaphorical and symbolic. Spring represents youth, innocence, and new beginnings. The children in the stories, like Sahib and Mukesh, are deprived of their childhood, which is the springtime of their lives, due to poverty and the need to work for survival. The title signifies the lost opportunities and dreams of these children. Their childhood, which should be a time of joy, learning, and growth, is instead consumed by the struggle for survival, making their spring a lost one. Question: how does the author highlight the issue of child labor in the chapter? Answer: Anees Jung highlights the issue of child labor by narrating the real-life stories of Sahib and Mukesh. Sahib is a rat picker, and Mukesh is involved in bangle making, both examples of child labor. The author describes the harsh conditions under which these children work, the lack of education, and the exploitation they face. The narrative focuses on the socio-economic factors that force children into labor, such as poverty, lack of opportunities, and societal apathy. By giving a voice to these children, the author brings attention to the widespread problem of child labor and the urgent need for reforms. Short answer questions. Question: why did Sahib's family migrate to Sinpuri? Answer: Sahib's family migrated to Sinpuri from Dhaka, Bangladesh, to escape the poverty and political unrest in their homeland. They hoped to find a better life in India but ended up living in the slums of Sinpuri, where survival is a daily struggle. Question: What does Mukesh want to do when he grows up? Answer: Mukesh dreams of becoming a motor mechanic. He wants to learn to drive a car and work in a garage, which is a significant departure from his family's traditional occupation of bangle making. Question: Describe the working conditions in the glass-blowing industry of Firozabad. Answer: The working conditions in the glass-blowing industry of Firozabad are hazardous. Workers, including children, work in dark, poorly ventilated rooms with hot furnaces. They handle molten glass with bare hands, leading to health issues like eye problems and respiratory diseases. The work environment is unsafe, and the workers are exploited by middlemen. Question: What are the dreams of the children in Simpuri, and how are they shattered? Answer: The children in Simpuri, like Sahib, dream of going to school, playing, and having a better future. However, their dreams are shattered by the harsh realities of poverty. They are forced into ragpicking to support their families, depriving them of the opportunity to receive an education and enjoy their childhood. Question: What social issues does Anees Jung address in Lost Spring? Answer: Anees Jung addresses several social issues in Lost Spring, including child labor, poverty, lack of education, exploitation, and the socio-economic disparities in society. The author brings attention to the struggles of marginalized communities and the need for social reforms to protect the rights and dreams of children. Question: What kind of environment do the children of Simpuri grow up in? Answer: The children of Simpuri grow up in a slum environment with a lack of basic amenities. They live in mud houses with tin roofs, without access to clean water, electricity, or sanitation. Their lives revolve around ragpicking, and they are deprived of education and opportunities to play or learn. Question: Why does Sahib give up ragpicking? Answer: Sahib gives up ragpicking to work at a tea stall, where he receives a regular income and meals. Although the job provides more security than ragpicking, it takes away his freedom and Sahib feels constrained by the responsibilities. Question: What kind of environment do the children of Simpuri grow up in? Answer: The children of Simpuri grow up in a slum environment with a lack of basic amenities. They live in mud houses with tin roofs, without access to clean water, electricity, or sanitation. Question: How does Anees Jung describe the lifestyle of the bangle makers? Answer: Anees Jung describes the lifestyle of the bangle makers as one of hardship and exploitation. They work in hazardous conditions, handling hot glass in dimly lit rooms. The workers are exploited by middlemen, earning meager wages. The bangle makers live in poverty, and their children are forced into labor from a young age, continuing the cycle of exploitation. Question: What does Sahib's tennis shoes symbolize? Answer: Sahib's tennis shoes, found in the garbage, symbolize his lost dreams and aspirations. They represent the things he desires but cannot afford. The shoes also highlight the stark contrast between his poverty-stricken life and his hopes for a better future. Question: How does the narrative highlight the exploitation of child laborers? Answer: The narrative highlights the exploitation of child laborers by describing the harsh conditions under which children like Sahib and Mukesh work. Sahib, a ragpicker, and Mukesh, a bangle maker, represent the countless children forced into labor to support their families. The author emphasizes the lack of education, poor working conditions, and the exploitation by middlemen, which perpetuate the cycle of poverty and child labor. Question: Why is Mukesh's dream of becoming a motor mechanic significant? Answer: Mukesh's dream of becoming a motor mechanic is significant because it represents his desire to break free from the traditional occupation of bangle making and the cycle of poverty. His ambition reflects hope, independence, and the courage to pursue a different path, challenging the societal norms that bind his community. Question: what role do middlemen play in the lives of the bangle makers? Answer: middlemen play a significant role in exploiting the bangle makers. They control the trade, paying the workers meager wages while making substantial profits. The bangle makers are dependent on the middlemen for their livelihood, which traps them in a cycle of poverty and exploitation, unable to escape or demand better working conditions. Question: how does the author depict the socio-economic disparity in Indian society? Answer: the author depicts socio-economic disparity through the contrasting lives of the poor children and the urban society around them. While children like Sahib and Mukesh struggle to survive, scavenging through garbage and working in hazardous conditions, there exists a world of affluence and privilege that remains indifferent to their plight. The narrative highlights the wide gap between the rich and the poor, emphasizing the need for social awareness and justice. Question: what impact does child labor have on the health and well-being of children? Answer: child labor has a detrimental impact on the health and well-being of children. It exposes them to hazardous working conditions, leading to health issues like respiratory problems, eye strain, and injuries. The lack of education and exposure to dangerous environments also affects their mental development and deprives them of a happy and fulfilling childhood. Question: how does the narrative reflect the theme of lost childhood? Answer: the narrative reflects the theme of lost childhood through the stories of Sahib and Mukesh, who are forced into labor at a young age. Their lives are consumed by the struggle for survival, leaving no room for education, play, or personal growth. The chapter emphasizes how poverty and societal neglect rob children of their innocence and dreams, making them adults before their time. Multiple choice questions, MCQs. Question: what is the main occupation of the people in Simpuri? Farming, ragpicking, weaving, fishing. Answer: B. Ragpicking. Question: what does Sahib's name mean? Lord of the universe, King of the world, Master of the land, Ruler of the seas. Answer: A. Lord of the universe. Question: where is Firozabad located? Near Delhi, near Mumbai, near Kolkata, near Chennai. Answer: A. Near Delhi. Question: what is Mukesh's dream? To be a bangle maker, to be a teacher, to be a motor mechanic, to be a doctor. Answer: C. To be a motor mechanic. Question: what does garbage mean to the children of Simpuri? Trash, gold, useless, dangerous. Answer: B. Gold. Question: what do the people of Firozabad mainly make? Shoes, pots, bangles, clothes. Answer: C. Bangles. Question: why did Sahib leave his home in Dhaka? To get an education, to escape poverty, to join his relatives, to become a businessman. Answer: B. To escape poverty. Question: how does Sahib feel after getting a job at the tea stall? Happy and content, sad but free, responsible but lost, angry and rebellious. Answer: C. Responsible but lost. Question: who controls the bangle industry in Firozabad? The workers, the government, middlemen, foreign companies. Answer: C. Middlemen. Question: What do Mukesh's eyes reflect? Fear, hope, despair, anger. Answer B. Hope. Question: How do the bangle makers in Firozabad feel about their work? Proud, resigned, happy, excited. Answer B. Resigned. Question: What does the author find most disturbing about the bangle making industry? The color of the bangles, the hazardous working conditions, the low wages, the demand for bangles. Answer B. The hazardous working conditions. Question: What is Mukesh's response when asked about following his family tradition? He agrees willingly. He is indifferent. He wants to do something different. He is unsure. Answer C. He wants to do something different. Question: How do Sahib's tennis shoes reflect his life? They are old and worn. They are brand new. They are stolen. They represent his aspirations. Answer D. They represent his aspirations. Question: How does the author feel about Sahib's life at the tea stall? Proud, relieved, sad, indifferent. Answer C. Sad. Question: What does Sahib carry in his plastic bag? Books, toys, food, treasures from the garbage. Answer D. Treasures from the garbage. Question: How does the author describe the streets of Simpuri? Clean and white, narrow and dirty, colorful and bustling, quiet and peaceful. Answer B. Narrow and dirty. Question: What do the bangle makers of Firozabad fear? Starvation, illness, police and bureaucracy, fire. Answer C. Police and bureaucracy. Question: What has made Mukesh's father go blind? An accident, working with glass, old age, illness. Answer B. Working with glass. Question: What symbolizes hope in Mukesh's life? The car, the bangle, the school, the tea stall. Answer A. The car. Question: How do the women in Mukesh's family contribute to the household? By doing household chores, by making bangles, by working in offices, by farming. Answer B. By making bangles. Question: What kind of houses do the people of Simpuri live in? Brick houses, mud houses, wooden huts, high-rise buildings. Answer B. Mud houses. Question: What is the underlying message of Lost Spring? The importance of tradition, the value of hard work, the need for social change, the significance of family. Answer C. The need for social change. Question: What is the dream of Sahib and other children like him? To become wealthy, to go to school, to travel the world, to own a house. Answer B. To go to school. Question: How does Anees Jung portray the relationship between poverty and education? Poverty encourages education. Poverty is irrelevant to education. Poverty hinders education. Poverty is eliminated by education. Answer C. Poverty hinders education. Question: What is the fate of Mukesh's family? Wealth, happiness, perpetual poverty, political power. Answer C. Perpetual poverty. Question: What do the children of Simpuri use as playthings? Expensive toys, rags and discarded items, electronic gadgets, books. Answer B. Rags and discarded items. Question: What does the author imply about the government's role in the lives of the poor? It is supportive. It is indifferent. It is controlling. It is revolutionary. Answer B. It is indifferent. Question: What does the dark, dingy environment of the bangle making industry symbolize? Prosperity. Hope. The grim future of the workers. The richness of tradition. Answer C. The grim future of the workers. Question: What does the lack of schools in Simpuri indicate? Lack of interest in education. Government apathy. Community's preference for work. Overpopulation. Answer B. Government apathy.